So at the opening meeting of the Surface Transportation Bill Conference on May 8th, I said I would give regular updates on the progress that conferees are making on the bill. So today I'm going to talk about developments since I last talked to you on May 15th. So I'm not going to address specific issues in the negotiations. I want to tell you we are making very good progress. I would say great progress on working through the various outstanding issues. Approximately 80% of the EPW title, that's the Environment and Public Works title, 80% of our bill is non-controversial, and we're running through that. Now, the EPW title makes up about 80% of the entire bill, so this is a very substantial report I'm giving you. And I intend to complete the conference report by our deadline in June. We cannot afford any more delays or extensions, and you're going to hear more about that from Senator Whitehouse when I introduce him. Because the uncertainty of these delays and extensions means that business and workers are already suffering. Make no mistake about it, these delays, and which are unfunded delays, these extensions are absolutely making it difficult for our people. When I say, I mean unfunded extensions. No money was ever put into the House every time they made an extension, and the fund is running dry and will be dry by the end of the year. So I want to tell you that staff has been meeting every day on all the major issues. They're working together across party lines, across Senate House lines. They're addressing every item. According to my staff, 17 meetings of the working groups were held last week. By the close of business on Friday, May 25th, 10 more meetings will have been held for a total of 27 working groups. In addition to the staff-level ongoing work group meetings, I have had one-on-one meetings or discussions with many of the conferees, House and Senate, Democratic and Republican members. The process has been extremely inclusive. My individual conversations with conferees, particularly House Republicans, have been very useful in identifying their priorities and their concerns. We have been able to make progress because of the commitment shown by the conferees, frankly, and the House and Senate leadership to get the conference report signed into law by the June 30th deadline, when the current transportation extension expires. Senator Inhofe and I are working together in the best of ways. We just talked last night, and he is also pleased with the way things are going, and he is also reaching out individually to colleagues. I am particularly pleased, and this is going to be some news that I'm going to tell you now, by the willingness of Speaker Boehner to work with us to accomplish our mutual goal. I had a very good conversation with him yesterday, and he told me that he met with the leaders on his side, and he told them to get the conference report done. I told the Speaker I was reaching out to all the people he put on that conference. He said he was very pleased with the progress. I asked the Speaker if I could report on our conversation at a press conference I intended to hold. He said absolutely. So he is working to make sure we get this done, and that is the best news that I have heard in a long time. I've told Leader Reid about my conversation with the Speaker. He was very pleased because, as he told me, the health of our businesses, workers, and communities depends on it. And we clearly have a broad coalition supporting our effort. So I am really, I believe, that the conferees will reach agreement on this bill. And I think the reason is that we brought to the table a bipartisan bill. As you know, it passed 74 to 22, and if Frank Lautenberg were there, it would have been 75 to 22. So what we brought to the table was a very fair bill. It wasn't a Democratic bill, it wasn't a Republican bill, it was a bipartisan bill. And it has many proposals in it that the Republicans supported. For example, when Congressman Mica came out to Los Angeles, he and I sat next to each other, and we heard about the notion of boosting up the TIFIA program. The TIFIA program stands for Transportation Infrastructure Finance and Innovation Act. And what it does is it will front monies to communities that decide they want to have a sales tax measure, or the county says they'll pay it back, and they come in and the federal government fronts the money and enables communities to do these projects quickly. We have a whole section in our bill called America Fast Forward. Very, very popular. The Conference of Mayors behind it. We have so much support, and I also wanted to mention in my update that yesterday I spoke to about 50 of the groups on a conference call. I continue to do this every few days, and they are continuing to work together. Labor, the Chamber, National Association of Manufacturers. You've heard me list these names over and over again. They are very involved in speaking to members one-on-one, in writing to members, and going to their states, and so on. So the conferees are fully engaged. We will have our conference report ready to circulate among the various colleagues by early June, and we intend to have this bill on the desk of the President before June 30th. I think you all know what's at stake. I'll just sum it up. 3 million jobs. We already know we have about 2 million currently protected in our bill, and 1 million would be created because of the expanded TIFIA program. We have thousands of businesses that care about this. So I thought it would also be interesting for you to hear from someone who is very close to his state and who knows exactly what these delays and extensions have meant, and someone who sits on the EPW committee who wrote a part of our bill that is very important to me and to us. And I'm delighted that you could be here today. Senator Whitehouse from Rhode Island.
Thank you, Chairman. I'm here to provide just a moment's context for the urgency that Chairman Boxer has demonstrated in trying to move this bill forward through conference. Many states, like mine, have a summer construction season because our winters are inhospitable to road construction. And as we all know, anybody who's been outdoors knows that the summer construction season has begun and that time is ticking away. Every day that the conference goes forward, every day that we don't have a bill to the President's desk, it becomes harder and harder for our state departments of transportation to fund the projects that they have scheduled for this summer's highway construction season. The Director of Transportation in Rhode Island is Michael Lewis, and obviously we work very closely together. Just the existing delay until the end of June. You remember we passed our bill on time on March 31st when the original deadline was, and we've been working off House extensions because they could not meet that deadline with a House bill. So we're already in an extension mode. And just that, he says that there are 96 projects in Rhode Island that he has scheduled for this summer, and if we don't get this done before June 30, 40 will fall off his schedule. So there has been a real cost to the delay that the House is forced by not being prepared with a bill on March 31st. And if it should not come to pass that we meet the schedule that Senator Boxer has indicated, obviously the job loss is worse. I come from a small state, and Director Lewis estimates that losing those 40 projects would result in the equivalent of 1,250 job years taken out of the economy now this summer at a time when Rhode Island is still over 11% unemployment, and we desperately need the work, in addition to our roads desperately needing the work. So I wanted to do two things. One is to applaud Chairman Boxer. She got this bill through her committee in plenty of time ahead of that March 31st deadline. She got it through her committee unanimously. You know the EPW committee, you know that's impressive. She brought it to the floor. We accepted 40 thereabouts amendments, either by vote or by agreement. It was a wide open process. There could be no complaint about this being anybody getting jammed. Wide open process and a very successful result. 75 senators supporting it, as she said. So it was an exemplary piece of work from Chairman Boxer, and I just wanted to make sure that you were all aware that there is a real context in jobs to why she is pushing so hard to get this done. As the summer ticks away, jobs literally are disappearing from our highways. So thank you very much, and Chairman Boxer, thank you very much more.
Senator. Thank you
More to the
so
point.
much. We are the long and short of the committee, so we